Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CG guy, Johnny Z here. Thanks so much for tuning back into the channel, and today we're going to be covering Night 2 of Power Trip, featuring the return of ACDC and Judas Priest as well. A lot to talk about here. Let's get into it. This was the first ACDC show since September 20th, 2016, and the first with Brian Johnson back up on stage since February 28th, 2016, so it's been a long time, and there was a period of time there where we didn't know if ACDC were ever going to take the stage again, let alone with Brian Johnson. I saw them in 2015 on the Rocker Bus Tour, one of the best nights of my life. I saw them again in 2016, except that was with Axl at Madison Square Garden. So, I've shared my thoughts on Axl DC in the past. We're not going to get into that here. But nonetheless, there was a good chance that this was never going to happen again, and we would never see AC/DC take the stage once again. But lo and behold, they're back in 2023 here for Power Trip, making their triumphant return. It's also the first show ever in the AC/DC annals of AC/DC history, with new drummer Matt Laug replacing Phil Rudd on the drums here. So a lot to talk about. It was a very newsworthy set, in my opinion, so I want to go through all of it, including the set list, so let's talk about that. You guys can see the set list right over here. AC/DC kicking things off with If You Want Blood, You've Got It, being performed live as a live set opener for the first time ever, which is really cool. Also, you have Back in Black, track number 2, the live debut of Demon Fire from their newer album, Power Up, from 2020, Shot Down in Flames, Thunderstruck, Have a Drink on Me, Hell's Bells, Shot in the Dark, the live debut, also from Power Up. Stiff Upper Lip, being performed live for the first time since 2003. I lost it because I didn't think they'd ever do that song live, even if they did do another show again. Real deep cut there, and Stiff Upper Lip is a very overlooked album in my opinion, so I thought it was great and a little unexpected to hear that song in the set. Dirty Deeds, Dunder, Cheap, Shoot to Thrill, Sin City, great song. Giving the Dog a Bone, awesome, and of course we knew that the song was going to be in the set because there was some audio that was leaked of them rehearsing it, but sounded fantastic. Got Rock and Roll Train, You Shook Me All Night Long, Dog Eat Dog, being performed live with Brian for the first time since 2009, High Voltage, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, Riff Raff, being played live with Brian for the first time since 1996, that's pretty awesome. Highway to Hell, Whole Lotta Rosie, Let There Be Rock with Angus as a guitar solo. Then the encore, you have TNT, and For Those About to Rock, We Salute You with the Cannons, and the big bombastic finish. What a set list. Pretty ambitious, for AC/DC to do the longest set list of their career with 24 songs after, not being on stage for almost 7 years, right? And, on top of that, it was 90-degree heat out there, and it's a festival set, so there's a lot of aspects at play there that really surprised me as to why they would go out and do this big set list, but I thought it was a great combination of some deep cuts, some songs that, I really didn't expect, and, of course, the classics that they gotta play live. And the big question here was, how was Brian Johnson going to sound after being off stage for so long, with his hearing issues and things of that nature, of course his age as well, how is he going to sound? From what I heard from the live streams, he sounded fantastic. Brian Johnson, of course, is not going to sound the way he did on the Back in Black tour or the, Those About to Rock or anything like that. But, considering the way he sounded in 2015, he sounds the same, that old kind of weathered, raspy voice, which, has really become his trademark as he's, gotten older. Still sounds the same. It's still there. And I, was very happy to hear that. It's a welcome sound to hear once again after, we never knew if Brian Johnson was going to take the stage once again. So, good for Brian Johnson, man. He's back. He was down on the canvas, down on the mat, but he got back up and now is back with AC/DC after, a series of unfortunate events there in 2016. But all's well that ends well. He's back. And, of course, Angus also was, a bit of a talking point after the show. Took the stage with full white hair for the first time ever, which I thought was pretty cool. It definitely caught me off guard, but, good for him. He's embracing the fact that he's not, 35 anymore, right? Not much of a schoolboy anymore, is he? But, I think the white hair suits him. It looks cool, and, good for him. Wasn't fooling anybody anyway, so, I think AC/DC looked really good up there. I think they sounded great. Brian sounded great, and, of course, Brian Johnson is always the happiest guy in the rooms. He looked thrilled to be up on stage, and really just an awesome performance, in my opinion. I think they stole, of the first 2 nights here and the first, 4 bands, they stole the show so far, and I think that's a fantastic thing. And now you have to start thinking about the possibility of, is this it, or are they going to be doing more in the future? Considering this set list here, which is pretty lengthy, I got to think that, I'm leaning more towards on the side of they're going to be announcing some tour dates, and if they do, I hope they announce some, locally to me, close enough where I can get there, because I have to see AC/DC one more time, and I think they can do it. Obviously, they're older, but I definitely think they have it in them if they want to go out and do, some select dates here and there. I would definitely be in support of that. But if this is it, if this is the last ACDC show ever, as I'm recording this now on Sunday morning, maybe they announce stuff later today, next week, who knows. But if this is the last ACDC show ever, they went out with a darn good set. ACDC weren't the only band who made headlines at Power Trip last night. Judas Priest announced their next studio album to be released on March 8th, 2024, entitled The Invincible Shield. Priest are back with a new record in the early months of 2024. I cannot wait for that. The follow-up to Firepower from 2018. It's going to be really cool to have new Priest. The album cover's now out there, very colorful. I'm not sure if I love the cover. But it's very colorful. It's got a very vibrant color scheme on it, so it definitely does catch your eye. Now, as for their set list was as follows, as you can see right over here. Electric Eye, Riding on the Wind, Heading Out to the Highway, Lightning Strikes, Diamonds and Rust, The Sentinel, A Touch of Evil, Turbo Lover, Firepower, Desert Plains, Rapid Fire, The Green Manalishi with the Two-Prong Crown. You've Got Another Thing Coming. Obviously, they have to do that song. Painkiller, Hellbent for Leather on the encore, and then the rest of the tracks they brought up Glenn Tipton on stage for Metal Gods, Breaking the Law, and Living After Midnight. This is your solid standard Judas Priest set list here. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I don't think. I think they sounded fine. I think, Rob Halford sounded okay. I think maybe he was phoning it in for this show. But, Priest came in to replace Ozzy here and kind of saved the day for night 2 of Power Trip. So that's, to be celebrated, of course. And also, speaking of celebration, new Priest album coming out March 8th. I'm thrilled for that. I can't wait to hear some new music from it, but they definitely did make headlines in that respect, so it's important to cover Priest here as well, opening for ACDC here tonight, and really awesome stuff, I think. Both bands had killer sets. I think, ACDC had a more unpredictable set, whereas Priest had a pretty standard set list here, but, I think both bands went out there and gave a good show. ACDC, of course, had something to prove here and really delivered, I think, making a triumphant return at Power Trip. So that wraps up this review here of Power Trip Night 2. Remember, this is your one-stop destination for all things Power Trip coverage. Stay tuned to the channel all weekend. Be sure to subscribe down below. We hit 1.7 thousand subscribers and blew right past it with the coverage of Power Trip, so thank you guys so much. If you do not see my Night 1 review yet, that's up there as well. I'll leave it linked down below. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel like I said, turn on the bell for notifications so you never miss a new upload, and let me know down in the comment section, what did you think of ACDC's return at Power Trip and Judas Priest set as well? What were your thoughts overall on Night 2 of Power Trip? And if you were there, of course, please let me know your thoughts, seeing that you were actually in person. But again, I was able to watch on some live streams, so don't worry, I got you guys covered. And of course, until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.